All right, welcome back and thank you for staying with Business Today. Now, we are speaking about insurance and just how insurance is easy for expatriates. And joining us is George Odera, who is the head of actuarial and product innovation at Jubilee Insurance. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Kevin. The pleasure is mine.
All right. So before we even get to the expatriates, first of all, when you look at disasters like we've been experiencing floods, there are areas in Kenya which are still experiencing floods. How easy is it for someone to go and claim because the individuals or families whose everything was swept away? So how does that work when it comes to insurance or even microinsurance?
Right, thank you, Kevin. So certainly insurance plays a role in terms of mitigating the consequences of such events. We've seen floods being one of them. And we also do have other forms of disasters that impact the livelihood of people. Now, really, with an insurance product, once the event is triggered, a payout will be provided based on the insurance cover that has been taken out. Microinsurance is tailored for the low-income segment of the population, and that's the segment that you find it's impacted the most by the occurrences of such disasters. Now, in terms of the ease of claiming, it purely depends on how a company then innovates its own processes and products to enable customers to seamlessly have a very customer-centric claims experience.
All right. Thank you so much for that. And now let's move to innovations in the insurance industry. And basically today we're talking about expatriates, and I would like you to explain expatriates because not everyone might be understanding what expatriates are, and so that at least we can understand from the basics of what expatriates mean in a country.
Right, so the world has become really global, and we are seeing a situation where you have people working across different nationalities, working in different countries around the world. Now, basically, an expatriate is someone from a third country who works or resides in another country other than their own.
Okay. Now, with that set and clear, I didn't know that expatriates don't usually have insurance. So how can Kenyan insurance industries, create products for this particular kind of people? And what does it require for them to create insurance for this particular people, may it be medical insurance and other types of insurance?
Right, so as with any other insurance products, one needs to understand the needs for the expatriates. Now, looking in the context of where they are working, being in a foreign country, there are certain things expatriates will be looking at, and given the nature of their work, they travel occasionally to different countries. So one will be looking at having international medical treatment across several countries around the globe whenever they travel. There'll be need to look at policy terms within insurance. So items like pre-existing conditions needs to be well covered, as well as having medical evacuation in the event that there are unforeseen emergencies or one falls ill when they're abroad.
Okay. All right. Very well explained. And when we look at innovations within the insurance industry, how is technology impacting these particular innovations that we have?
So technology will impact three key aspects of healthcare. One, it will provide access to private medical insurance. In this case, from wherever one is around the globe, they can basically access world-class private medical insurance. It will also provide access to a wide panel of hospitals that they can visit. And basically, the technology is going to be the lever that will provide this. And lastly, it will make some aspects of healthcare to be affordable. We do have different financing options that are powered within the digital rails that then make it easy for one to access insurance.
All right. And also, even as we speak about the expatriates and who are working in different countries, what if, for example, someone is not well versed with the language of a particular area? How does a multilingual kind of insurance come in?
So multilingual comes in the sense that it will provide the customer with a choice on what type of language he or she wants to converse with the insurer. So we do have plans that have support for up to 46 different languages, and it's expected that certainly around the globe, customers are bound to be conversant with one of the 46 global languages.
And also now, the world is moving to the digital kind of operations, and also kind of migration into the digital platforms, trying to make very many things easy. So how does the insurance industry incorporate digital solutions in order for them to even access insurance from anywhere in the country?
Certainly, Kevin. So
in the globe, rather.
Yeah, so certainly, Kevin. Now, if you look at how people access financial services and other services nowadays, it's virtually through the mobile phone. It's either on USSD platforms, it's either on a web interface, or it's either on a mobile app. Now, it will be imperative for insurances to then align their processes to be more digitally native. You do have core systems that support digital native processes, and you also provide customers with a choice on how they want to interact with you, be it on social media, be it on various platforms that you provided on mobile phone or on web.
Right. And let's also look at another issue. When it comes to the insurance industry within Kenya, what are some of the gaps, especially in terms of covering insurance, that we are maybe not tapping into? And especially when I speak about this, I mean maybe people in the rural area or people who are very remote areas which are inaccessible. How do we get to them?
Right. So in terms of accessibility, it will predominantly boil down to two things. One is providing an infrastructure through which people can reach you. Like I mentioned, right now, even within the most rural parts of this country, people certainly have mobile phones. They can reach out to you via the mobile phone, whether you're looking at USSD platform or apps, etc.
Yes.
Then secondly is working with stakeholders and developing strategic partnerships to then work with different companies and aggregators that are in various parts of the country. That way, using those two models, you find that you are basically able to increase your outreach to even the most remote parts of the country.
Okay, and still on that, getting to these particular people, because many a times we usually say, okay, we can get to them via USSD, via all of this, the things that you've mentioned, but at the end of the day, how can that particular person in that remote area be convinced that if a disaster comes, or if next time they are hit by maybe very bad situation, especially floods, they are going to get help? Because at the end of the day, many of the people usually, it may be catered for a particular kind of people. So how do you convince someone who is at a place where they can't be, the internet is a problem getting there. The phones they have are not smartphones. They use, of course, the USSD ones that you are talking about. So how do we do this?
Right. So first of all, there is a lot that will need to go in terms of creating awareness around the product and around the claims process, around what is covered, what is not covered, so that it's very clear from the outset. And we can have outreach programs to basically increase the level of awareness across the population. Then secondly, it's providing avenues through which then they can claim. Like I mentioned, there's an opportunity to work with aggregators around the country. So you find, and by aggregator, I mean looking at businesses that have been able to bring in a segment of customers together. So it could be a local boda association.
Yes.
It could be your local chama. So through such models, then you can be able to create the outreach program and basically incentivize customers around what is covered within insurance and how they can benefit from the program.
All right. Thank you for that. And now also let's go back to expatriates and try to look at how do insurance companies come up with different kinds of products in order for them to really meet the need of a particular expatriate. Because of course, we have, it's a global, it's global these days. The world is very global. We have different people who come from different countries into our country. They want to work within the country. But now when it comes to insurance, there's some regulations that they might not meet. So how do we reshape our insurance companies in order for us to now meet the needs of these people?
Right. So first is really understanding what their needs are. Like I mentioned, expatriates have unique needs just by virtue of them working in a foreign country. Mm-hmm. So making sure that the product coverage terms speaks to their needs, ensuring that they can access medical services whenever they travel. I've talked about pre-existing conditions. Those are items that are ordinarily normally excluded from insurance covers. And that's certainly one element that you want to make sure that that is covered within the product package that you're offering. Now, over and above that, given the nature of the expatriate community, it would be important to then work with stakeholders around the globe to increase your global outreach, give them access to the several countries that they travel, give them multilingual support so that they can converse with you in a language that best suits them.
All right, thank you for that. And now, to this particular situation, say someone has come from Kenya, they've gone to Uganda, or they've gone to Nigeria or any other country, maybe in the West African side, and they would still want to use the insurance cover that they're using in Kenya. And when it comes now to from where you sit and from your expertise, how easy is it for someone to use an insurance cover that they're using here in a different or in another country? And how viable is that?
Right. So most insurance covers are structured to be domiciled within the country which they're issued. But we do have international insurance covers that will then cover a specified geographical region. So it could be, say, within East Africa, it could be within Africa, or it will also be around the globe. Now, depending on the coverage model that you've chosen, of course, certainly as you'll expect, you'll pay more to have the benefit of having an insurance cover that has a wider outreach. So such covers are available, both looking in the context of medical insurance and also non-medical insurance.
All right, and George, as we conclude this conversation, when you look at the insurance industry, what needs to be done in order to make it a little bit, in order to improve even the insurance industry in Kenya, even as we develop as a country?
Thank you, Kevin. So it's being receptive to the fact that customers, and even if I look at it in the Kenyan context, have consumed insurance in various forms. It's not that people don't have insurance. For most people, insurance is within the social network. So insurance companies really have to customize their products with that realization in mind. And also just give customers the ability to then really define and customize and build the insurance product how they want to consume it. And over and above that is then just using technology. And Kenya is really a tech-native country to really leverage on technology to then ensure that access to insurance is provided and the policy terms are well understood. So it's basically simplifying insurance contracts for everyone.
All right, thank you so much for joining us on Business Today. That is George Odera, who is the Head of Actuarial and Product Innovation at Jubilee Insurance, speaking to us about how insurance companies can really just expand their products in order for them just to cover the expatriates and also people in the remote areas within our country. All right, we've come to the end of this particular edition of Business Today. My name is Kelvin Nyakundi. Stick around. BRKTN is coming up next.